Hi guys, so I wanted to make a video about YouTube. I don't even know how to start this, to be honest, about YouTube and how it's changed and why I don't really do videos anymore. Basically just my thoughts on that side of things. I've been wanting to make it for a long time because I felt like this for quite a few years, but I just didn't really know how to say it. I kind of thought there's no point me saying it, but I do want to express how I feel, and I just want to say it anyway. As you may or may not know, I've been on YouTube pretty much since the beginning. I've been here since 2006, like around spring, I think it was, spring or summer 2006. I started uploading in 2006, although it wasn't vlogs, it was just like I was editing music videos for Lost, you know, fandom edits, and I was doing the odd video of like me walking around the house or filming Rosie, but it wasn't like an actual proper vlog. And then I started this account in 2007. I started doing vlogs properly in 2007. So I've been here for a really long time, and it has changed so much. I really miss uploading videos. I really miss making videos. I still do my own videos, like just for memory's sake, but I don't make them with YouTube in mind. I don't make them to post on YouTube. Obviously, like, I've never been popular on YouTube, but I was the most popular by my history, by my standards, in 2010 and 2011. That started with my reaction videos to Lost back in 2010, and that's what got me quite a few more hundred subscribers. Before that, I think I only had like 70 or 80, and then it jumped up to like, I don't even know, 200s, 300s because of Lost videos, and then people stuck around more, and the most I ever got to in one go was I think it was about 500 and something, like 520 in 2012, and then YouTube did that thing where it got rid of a lot of accounts that were inactive or I don't remember what it was, but they got rid of a lot of accounts. Then my number dropped to like 480, and then it dropped again to like for whatever it's at now. I can't keep forgetting. So that's my brief history of YouTube. I've always loved YouTube. When I was a teenager in the 2000s, it was my main hobby. I think it was pretty much my only hobby, unless you count MySpace as a hobby. I don't think so. So really, YouTube was my only hobby when I was a teenager. I spent so much time doing it, even when I was older than that, like even when I was 18, 19, 20, I was still spending so much time. Oh, sorry. I still spent so much time filming and editing and rendering and uploading, and it's such a long process, but I always enjoyed it. I think it was 2012 was, I think, the first year that I started to decline my uploads. And that was a mixture of being at university, because that was very demanding because we had so many essays to do, like such a mountain of work, that I didn't really have much time to actually do YouTube videos, and obviously you've got to prioritise doing your essays and stuff. And it was also a mixture of anxiety and depression that stopped me from well, it didn't stop me completely, but it, you know, it made me decline. I wasn't doing it as much as I used to do it. Same with 2013, which if you watch my videos about depression, you'll know why, because that was one of the years that I was really severely depressed. So that affected me doing YouTube as well. I did still upload a few things, but it was nowhere near as much as 2010, 2011. And then I noticed by, I think it was 2014 or maybe the end of 2013, I noticed that less and less people were watching me, and I lost a lot of my subscribers, a lot of my viewers. Anyway, so I tried to get it back into YouTube. I tried to do it, you know, get back into the swing of doing it more frequently, but I just could never really get back into it properly. Like, it didn't feel like it felt before. And I think I mentioned it quite a few times in vlogs that I felt more awkward and I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing anymore. And I think it was because YouTube was starting to change quite a lot. I think more so in the past, like 3 years or so, but I started noticing it, I think even as early as 2012, I started noticing that, like, my style of videos weren't quite as, like, I don't know what the right word is, not popular, but they weren't as kind of accepted as they used to be. And things were starting to very slowly head more towards being more professional, and having a certain feel about them. YouTube has changed so much, and I think everyone can see that. YouTube is nothing like it used to be. Even just like, what, about 6 years ago? Never mind, like 10 years ago. There is just so much focus now on being perfect and only doing things a certain way. There's so much focus on being popular, being rich, being famous. I don't think there's anything wrong with like being rich and famous from it, but I just think it's a bad influence like on younger people, because I see so many like children and teenagers saying that their dream in life is to be like a rich YouTuber, and they think that they can like have their own mansion by the time they're 20, and it's just not realistic. Obviously some people do, but for most young people that is just not a realistic goal. And it's not that I'm saying that you shouldn't have dreams, but you also need to be realistic as well, and like not throw away your education, you know, like at school or whatever, because you think, well, I don't need school because I'm just going to be famous on the internet and that will pay my bills and that will give me a big house and lots of friends. And I think it's quite toxic how it's pushing young people's focus on the wrong things, like just on money, on fame, on popularity. And I can kind of see where they're coming from, because like when I was like, what was I, like 12, 13, 14, 15, I had this temporary fad where I was obsessed with like being popular on the internet and like with MySpace and everything. If you're on MySpace in the 2000s, you know what I'm talking about. Like some of us, like me, for example, would spend hours and hours on these websites where you would add people to your friend list and then you'd earn a certain amount of points, and then you'd get higher up on like a hierarchy list, and then more people would have to add you first that they got more friends, and it was this big cycle. And eventually you'd get thousands and thousands of friend requests, thousands and thousands of friends that you didn't know, they didn't mean anything to you, but it just gave you an ego boost that, oh, I'm popular, I mean something because I've got 1,000 MySpace friends. And it's kind of now like moved to YouTube, that sort of mindset a little bit. Like I can kind of understand why young people would think, oh yeah, it must be fun being a famous YouTuber because, oh my god, you can be rich at a young age, you can go to all these parties and events, you can travel the world, you have amazing friends, oh my god, it looks so cool, you can wear expensive things, get, you know, brands to sponsor you, and you get all this expensive jewellery and makeup and clothes, and it does seem really cool. And I can understand why they kind of think it's cool, but I think they're romanticising it too much, and I think YouTube is making things look better than it really is, or it's focusing on the wrong things. I don't think I'm explaining this very well, but I hope you kind of get what I mean. I just think it's given young people too many false expectations, and I think they're gonna get more depressed when they get older and they can't necessarily do these things, and they're thinking, oh, but I watched these other people do these things and I couldn't do it and they made it look easy. And actually it's not necessarily easy. People are just very, very lucky that they've got like millions of subscribers or whatever. Like not everyone can do that. I just feel like modern YouTube puts too much emphasis on the wrong things. And like earlier this year, you might have heard that a lot of YouTube partners got their partnership removed because they introduced this new rule where you can only be a partner if you have 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch time. I can't remember what it is, it's a certain amount of hours, and I don't have 1,000 subscribers and I don't have anywhere near that many watch hours for the past year. So I was one of the people who got their partnership removed, so as of the beginning of this year, I am no longer a YouTube partner. So that's why you don't see adverts on my videos anymore, because I can't do that anymore. And that really upset me. And a lot of people didn't really understand why it upset so many people. A lot of people were saying, well, if you're only a small YouTuber anyway, why does it matter? Because you weren't earning much money anyway, so you're not really losing much. But they don't really understand that it's not about money, or not for everybody. Like, for me, it really upset me. It still upsets me. Like, I'm always going to be upset at the fact that I'm not a partner anymore, because it meant a lot to me, and it's not about earning money, although that is a nice bonus. Not that I ever earn enough to get any of it, because you have to reach a certain threshold before you get the money given to you. But that's not the point. Like, the point for me was, I always loved YouTube. I was doing it for so many hours, so many years. Like I said, it was my only hobby when I was a teenager, my like passion. Didn't really care too much about anything else. It's like one of the only things in life that I was passionate about, that I was consistent with, that I always enjoyed no matter what else was happening. Something that felt like my own little world that I could always go back to no matter what. So it's kind of like a safe haven for me. To have that taken away from you, you know, being a partner, I just find it so upsetting because I was just over the moon. I became a partner in 2011 and I was just completely over the moon about it. And I remember back then people were saying to me, why are you so excited? Like, you're only a YouTuber, it's not that big of a deal. But to me it was, because it felt like a real achievement. And this is going to sound a bit emo, but I kind of felt like I've not really achieved anything else in life, so I felt like, oh well, at least I've got that as an achievement, and that's great because I love it so much, so it means a lot to me. And so when you have that achievement for something that meant a lot to you, means a lot to you, has done for years, has been a big part of your life for years, and then to have it taken away from you because you're not popular enough, it just feels like a punch in the face. And I will always be upset about that. Like, I've literally cried about it a lot, which might sound a bit over the top, but that is how much it means to me, that it actually makes me literally upset that I've lost that. I'm not saying that's one reason why I don't do YouTube really anymore, but I'm just saying that's something else that relates to this topic that has upset me, that I don't think is fair either. It's kind of giving the message that only popular people matter. Only they are worth watching or listening to, or giving money to, or giving the chance to make money to, or giving, you know, any sort of privileges. It's just ridiculous, really. I try and stay positive as much as I can throughout life, so I'm not trying to be completely negative. Obviously, I'm very grateful that I was ever a partner in the first place. That was amazing, you know. I'm never going to lose the fact that I was, even though I'm not now. I still was, so at least I had that for some amount of time in my life, so that is good. But it just hurts when you lose something that meant a lot to you. You know, even if you say, well, people say, well, yeah, but at least you experienced that. It's like, yeah, but it still kills you when you lose it. So getting back to the reasons as to why I kind of don't upload anymore. One is because I feel like it's kind of not worth it because nobody really cares anymore. Because I've noticed my subscriber count's gone down a lot. I've noticed more so that my views have gone down insane amounts, so as the likes, so as the comments, the engagement, everything's just completely gone. There's the odd comment and the odd engagement, which I'm grateful for. Even if it's just one person, I'm still grateful for that, but it's just really sad when I remember like 2010, 2011, I'd get like 12 comments, which I know is still nothing in comparison to other people, but to me it was a lot. And I would get like 10 likes, which again, I know that sounds completely ridiculous because there's people that get like 50,000 likes, but to me, again, that was a lot. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's because it kind of makes me paranoid, because I don't know if it's because I'm no longer appealing. I don't know if it's because I've got really boring, or I'm too old now, or I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's me, or I don't know if it's just because they have just left YouTube anyway because they've got older. Maybe they're just bored of YouTube as a whole, the whole website, not just me specifically. I don't even know what it is, but I just know that it's gotten down a lot. Back in 2010, I would get about 100 views in 24 hours, I think. Something like that. Now, I don't even get 100 views in 6 months. That is how downhill my channel has gone. And I do admit, it's probably also because my videos aren't as good anymore. You know, if I was uploading these videos 8 years ago, they probably would be doing fine. But because it's 2018, this style of video isn't good enough anymore, and people don't care as much anymore, they're not as interested, it's more boring, they expect more now. They want you to be travelling the world, or living in a mansion, or just doing something that's more exciting, you know. In a way, kind of less realistic, but more exciting, because obviously most young people can't afford to travel the world or live in a mansion. So that is one thing that has put me off uploading, is the fact that hardly anyone's even watching or even cares anymore. So I kind of feel like, well, what's the point of me sitting down and spending hours and hours and hours filming and editing, uploading, rendering, all that business? It takes a long time. I think people underestimate how many hours it takes. It takes a really long time. It can be at least 10 or 12 hours, sometimes even more than that, depending how much editing you got to do, all this kind of stuff, depending how long the video is. So I kind of think, what's the point of me wasting 12 hours, 20 hours, how long it takes? What's the point of me wasting that time when like only one person is interested? It's a lot of commitment and it's a lot of time used up, and I kind of feel like, well, I could be doing so much other more productive stuff that makes more of an impact than me doing a video where like only one person likes it. So there's that, that's one reason. Another reason is that I kind of ties in with it, I just feel like I'm not good enough for YouTube anymore. Not for modern YouTube. Like I said, if it was 8 years ago, it would be fine, but it's not 2010 anymore. We have to go back. It's 2018, and what I do, my style, is not relevant anymore really, and it's not what people are interested in. It's not good enough when you compare me to loads of other people. Why would you watch me when you can watch people that are travelling the world, people that have much more exciting lives, that are going out or just doing more interesting things? Why would you watch me when you can watch that? You know, there's so many millions of people uploading videos now. There's so much to choose from. Why would you choose to watch me when you can watch way more exciting stuff, way more better quality stuff? The other thing is, which kind of ties into that, is that, well, I don't really feel like I can upgrade my channel and be more sort of like, you know, fit in more with kind of like modern YouTube, to kind of bring that engagement back, because I feel like I've tried it. I feel like I tried doing some of the modern tag videos a few years ago and it just didn't feel like it was me. It just didn't feel right. It kind of felt a bit forced, to be honest. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy doing it, because I did, but it just felt a little bit forced. And I kind of felt like my heart wasn't really in it, and to me, I'm someone that feels like, well, if your heart's not in something, there's no point doing it. That's how I feel. And I feel like it's good to be honest about it, because I kind of feel like what I can describe my channel as is, you know, like when they have a movie franchise and they do the first few movies and they're great, they're really successful, everyone loves them, and they try and drag the franchise on. They try and do like 10 sequels to it, and then by the time you get to like the 10th sequel, it's kind of lost its interest and it's kind of lost its sparkle, because it's just been dragged on for so long. It's just overkill. And I kind of feel like that is a good metaphor for my YouTube channel. And I'm not trying to compare my channel to a movie franchise, so don't don't get me mistaken with that. I feel like my channel had its run. Unfortunately, I wish it was still as good as it was, but it's not. Realistically, I'm being honest with myself here. And I kind of feel like if I was to keep shooting out videos every week, every 2 weeks, it would just be overkill. I feel like it would be the same as like a franchise, like I said, that had made like 10 sequels when 3 were enough, you know? So that is something else. I kind of feel like my time is up, and it's been up for like, what, 4 or 5 years? You know, I feel like it's been up for quite a long time, and why am I trying to drag it out when it died a long time ago? But I can't let it go. See? The ironic thing is, the thing that made me have the most subscribers and viewers and whatnot on YouTube was Lost, right? And one of the main messages in Lost was to let go, and I frigging can't let go. That's my problem. Oh, anyway, side note, you can probably see my Lost DVDs in the corner over there, I think. Are they in the background of this video? I don't even have a viewfinder. They are. Yep, they're there. There's been other things as well, like, for example, just simple reasons, like I genuinely just can't think of any more video ideas. I have thought of some, like I've made lists, but I find that as I've got older, most of my video ideas are more like, I'm talking about serious topics rather than like more fun things, and I kind of, doing serious videos is good, but I also like doing more fun things like I used to, or more experimental, creative things, but those are things I've kind of run out of ideas for, or if I've got them, I think, well, but that's not good enough for YouTube. That's like what you would put on Instagram or Twitter, not YouTube. So I kind of have that barrier in my head as well, stopping me from uploading stuff. So I guess I'm kind of scared of people's reaction. Ironically, I shouldn't be, because hardly anybody's here watching me anyway, so what am I scared of? One person saying this is shit. Like, I know it's not going to happen, because the odd person that does still watch me are nice, so I know they're not going to be, like, hating on anything that I do. But, I don't know, I feel more awkward. That's the other thing I don't like about modern YouTube, is that I feel a lot more self-conscious on here now than I ever used to, a lot more awkward, and sorry, I thought someone was knocking on the door. Woo! Yes, I'm still scared of those things. Yeah, I was saying I don't feel as relaxed on here anymore. I still feel relaxed in front of a camera, that's not the problem. I mean, I don't feel as relaxed uploading onto YouTube. Like, for example, I feel more relaxed uploading a video onto Instagram than I do onto YouTube. Even though I've been on YouTube way longer. But I think it's just because, like I said, I think it's just because there's so much emphasis now on, like, being perfect. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm not good enough anymore. People are going to be like, your camera's crap, you're crap, your content's crap, your background's crap, everything's crap, and I'm more scared of being judged now, I think, than I ever was before. Although obviously, like, there were still nasty people and judgmental people on YouTube 10 years ago, and there always has been on the internet, but in some ways I kind of feel like there's more now than ever before, and so that actually kind of scares me, to be honest. Other things as well, just like personal circumstances, like for example this year in particular, I've not even really thought about doing anything on YouTube because this year has just been so horrible. There's been 2 deaths this year. I was severely ill, my mum was severely ill. Just, I can't honestly, so many bad things happen, I can't even think, it's all like a blur. Anyway, I've relapsed in depression, loads of anxiety, cemetery stuff, funeral, just like a constant, just a year where everything bad that can happen has happened, basically. I kind of feel like a lot of the videos that I loved doing before, I kind of feel like I'm maybe a bit too old. Obviously I'm not properly old, I'm 26, so I'm not super old, but I'm not super young anymore either, you know, and like what I was doing when I was like 18, you don't even catch 13-year-olds doing that these days. So if I was to do that now at 26, it would look a bit ridiculous. And I know that shouldn't necessarily stop me from doing things, but it does because I don't want to look stupid, I don't want people to make fun of me and I kind of feel like I've honestly grown out a bit anyway. Like, I love doing those reenactment things or spoofs, whatever you want to call them. I think me calling them reenactments was taking it a bit too seriously. Even though, obviously, I wasn't taking it seriously, I was just joking around, having fun. But I think it made people think that they should have been better than they were. And then some people were like, oh yeah, but whatever it was, your American accent wasn't very good. And I was like, I'm just playing around, it's not meant to be serious, I'm just goofing around. Anyway, something else. But like, I really miss doing that. But I'm like, I can't do that. Like, who does that on YouTube now? Maybe someone does, I don't personally know anyone that does. But I just feel like it just wouldn't match 2018. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't be right on modern YouTube. Like, it doesn't seem professional enough, you know? Modern YouTube is so focused on kind of being professional. I think it's quite focused on being mature in a way. Not that doing spoofs is immature, it's just having fun, isn't it? But I don't know, I kind of feel like they want you to be more serious in a way. I mean, not always. Obviously people do pranks and they're very popular, that's not being serious. But in other ways I kind of feel like they do. Like, they just want you to be kind of all professional and, you know, like you're on a TV show or something or doing an interview. Okay, I've kind of lost my train of thought because I just had to stop for over an hour and charge the battery, so I'm not sure this is going to flow very well, but I think I was saying about one reason why I don't upload anymore really is because I feel like I can't really do my old style of videos anymore. Like, vlogging is still very popular, but it's different now. Like, tell me this is recording. Yeah, this is how rusty I am. Like, vlogging now is very fast paced and exciting, and it's normally out and about, and it's not normally just sitting down and saying I did this, I did that, this happened. Like, I like hardly ever see that, if at all. That sounded really posh, if at all, on YouTube anymore. What else did I do? Like montages and like music videos, again I feel like I'm too old to be doing that. Well, I am. Like, people in their 20s don't run around the house filming music videos, do they? Unless they're doing a professional thing, but I mean, you don't just do that to other people's music like you did when you were a teenager. Well, not even teenagers do that now, that's the crazy thing. Even like montages, I kind of feel like there's no point anymore either, because they're not as good as other people's. And was that all that I did? Oh, obviously the reaction videos back in the day. Aside from like feeling more uncomfortable on YouTube and not being sure of myself and not feeling like I fit in anymore, I don't even know what I would even do videos about. Like, I have no idea what I would talk about. Even if I was to get back into doing YouTube videos, I don't know what I would upload videos about. I don't know what I would talk about. I have no clue. I feel completely lost on here. There have been other things that I've thought about vlogging about, like things like social anxiety, but then I think, I don't know, I kind of feel like, is there any point in me having any input? Because there's so many other hundreds of videos that, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not necessary on here anymore. Not that I'm saying I ever was necessary, because I guess I kind of never was, if you want to get that deep. But the other thing that I find crazy is that back, like when I was doing videos originally, like 10 years ago, it was considered like a bad thing, or like a, not necessarily bad, but bad in the sense of like it was considered really weird and really stupid. And if you did YouTube videos back then, you'd get made fun of. To me, from coming from all those years ago doing YouTube, or just being on YouTube since back then, to now, I find it so bizarre that something that I was doing so long ago that I got made fun of for, insulted for, called weird for, is now not only accepted, but now it's really popular and everybody wants to do it and everyone glamorizes it and romanticizes it and thinks it's amazing. It is so weird. I can't describe how weird it is to now see kids or teenagers go, oh yeah, people on YouTube, they're really cool, oh I wish I was like them. It's like, what? When I was your age, everyone was like, oh my god, you're on YouTube, how lame, how stupid, how weird. You know, all these just put downs and insults, and like anyone will tell you that, like people that I've watched on YouTube, not all of them still do YouTube, but like I still follow some of them on social media, and they all say the same thing, that when they were also vlogging 10 years ago, they also got made fun of at school, or just on the internet in general, got called weird, all those things. So I'm sure they will feel exactly the same as I do, that it is so weird now to hear teenagers and young people saying how cool it is and how good it is. It's just, it is so bizarre. I mean, that's kind of off topic, but that's something else I wanted to say that I've been thinking that I wanted to say somewhere. I remember once when I was in a shop, I saw a girl and her mother, and this girl was like 7 or 8, I think, and she had a t-shirt on that said, what did it say? I think it said blogger or vlogger, and it was all like glittery and cool looking, you know, all pretty looking, and I was like, oh my god, like, I was like, what? There's this kid walking around with this top on saying blogger or vlogger, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm a vlogger, like it's a cool, I don't know, I mean, it's just weird, I can't, it's just bizarre to me, like, to see that they idolise it so much and they think it's so cool, and they kind of rank it on the same level as being a pop star, or, you know, something like that, and it just seems really weird to me to see that change. I don't know, I guess I kind of find it a bit annoying in a way, just because personally, like I said, because I got made fun of, or people are like, oh that's weird, or why would you do that, or that's stupid. I don't know, it's just annoying when you did something a long time ago and you were kind of one of the first ones to do it, but you got made fun of and insulted for it, but now it's cool. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but I was doing that 10 years ago and I didn't get like complimented, or, well no I did, but not like to the extent that they do these days. I wasn't like idolised, or, oh wow, what she's doing is cool. Not that you have to be, but it's just, I just feel really weird about it. I'm like, oh, but I have been doing that way longer than you have, and yet I never got called cool, or I never, well no, that's a lie, I did get called cool, but god, I'm not making my point here, am I? Oh god, I just meant like, for the most part, I was more called kind of weird, or thought of, what I was doing was thought of as being weird and stupid. And it's just so weird how it's changed so drastically, I think is the point I'm trying to make. Like, it's just such a huge contrast. And it is so weird to see that personally. Like, I think a lot of people will say that YouTube changed, but they're referring to like, oh, I missed 2013, 2014 YouTube. And I'm thinking, oh my god, if you're saying that, imagine what you'd be thinking if you'd been around on here since 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, or even 2010. Like, it just kind of blows my mind that people are already saying they miss YouTube and they've only been on here for like 3 years. And then I'm like, god, you should have tried being on here 10 years ago. It was like a gold mine back then. Now it's just like, I mean, it still is, but in a different way. But I don't know. I I am struggling to explain. I hope someone knows what the hell I'm getting at, because I just sound like I'm just talking nonsense right now. I want to make the point as well that just because I'm saying all these kind of negative things, that I am not insulting YouTube entirely. I still love YouTube, even though I kind of have my own issues with it, but I still love it as a website generally. It's not as good as it used to be, so I'm not saying like I completely love it, but it is still fun to watch. And I'm not completely like putting it down, because there are good things about modern YouTube. There are modern YouTubers that are really entertaining, or they're really like original and creative, and they're very talented. And there's other things on YouTube that weren't around 10 years ago that are now, like ASMR for example, which I absolutely love. And so I'm glad that that is here on YouTube now. So I'm not like, I suppose that's the problem, like there's always going to be positives and negatives to anything. So whatever time frame you're in, whatever year it is, there's always going to be goods and bads. So like I'm going on about the old YouTube as if it was perfect. And it wasn't perfect, but it's not perfect now either. Like it's never, nothing's ever perfect really. There's always going to be little things that could be better. There's always going to be things you can improve on. There's always going to be something wrong. But I just know for a fact from being on there that long ago that overall, especially from like a smaller YouTuber's perspective, it was a lot better back then. You know what I've realised just doing this video? I just miss sitting here and just having a chat with the camera. I just miss expressing myself. I just miss sitting down and just talking about how I feel, about life. I kind of find it therapeutic, I suppose. I definitely miss YouTube. It's not that I don't want to be on here. It's not that I don't want to be uploading stuff. I think I do, but like I said, I just don't feel like I fit in here anymore. I mean, if anyone cares and if anyone has any genuine ideas of what I could do, then you feel free to suggest them if you want, because I can't think of anything, like I said. This is the other thing, see, back in the old days in YouTube, I would never really question myself. If I wanted to upload something, I would just upload it. I wouldn't really think twice if I wanted to create something, whether that was just a vlog, whether it was me being silly, whether it's me trying to be a bit more artistic and do like a montage, a music video, something like that. I wouldn't really think twice. I would just do it, experiment and upload it and see what happens. And I don't think I really had any self-doubt. It didn't really kind of even cross my mind. YouTube used to feel really special. It used to feel like a safe haven for misfits, is how I would describe it. And I've heard other people say that as well. 8, 9, 10 years ago, YouTube was kind of like an escapism from real life, and it was more about sort of having somewhere to go where you felt like you could be yourself, you could relax. And like if you didn't fit in real life, if you were having troubles at school or whatever, you could just come on YouTube and it's somewhere that you could relax and be yourself and express yourself without worrying about like people at school being nasty. And so it was a nice form of escapism to kind of have this other world. To me, YouTube felt like this other kind of world that I could just kind of step into, like Wonderland or something. I could just kind of go down the rabbit hole and I'd be here and I could be myself, and I'd be like, oh, it's kind of like having a breather from real life. And I absolutely love that, because I didn't feel like I had that anywhere else. A lot of people felt like that. A lot of people felt that back then YouTube was, like I said, like a safe haven basically. People that didn't feel like they fit in real life, people that weren't popular in real life would come to YouTube and they could make friends, they could talk, they could express themselves, be themselves, relax, have fun, and not worry about the pressures of being popular, not worry about the pressures of school and real life. I think for most of us it was the pressures of school, because a lot of us that have been on here for that long started off as teenagers on YouTube. So I think most of us that have been on here for like 10 years or more started off on here as teenagers, and I think most of us came here, uploaded vlogs and stuff, because we felt like something was missing from real life, probably from school in particular. We felt like school was making us feel like crap and just making us feel really negative, and so this was kind of like our escape. And it was so nice to have somewhere where we could relax and make friends with people that basically were just nicer than people that were at school, you know? I just think it's so sad because it was so unique. I don't remember any other website that kind of felt like that. And now it's basically turned into what school was. Now it is focused on popularity or negativity just like high school was, and I just think it's so sad that this website started off as like what felt like, you know, a safe haven for misfits and people that weren't popular or whatever, where people that weren't popular felt valid. And now it just feels like everything else in real life pretty much, where you don't feel like you're valid unless you're popular or unless you look a certain way or unless you have certain things, you know? And like I said, that really is sad because we've lost such a unique thing about this website, such a kind of like the heart of it. I feel like we've just lost it, and I just feel like that's so sad because we can't get that back now. I feel like the standards are a lot higher now, like about kind of looking perfect and being perfect, and even like the background, like so many people on YouTube have like perfect backgrounds, like they have a bedroom or whatever, or a house that is so modern and perfect, and you can see they've got a beautifully painted wall or wallpaper and all these things in the background, like perfect furniture and accessories, and it's like, but it's not realistic because not everyone can afford a perfect house or a perfect wallpaper or perfect accessories or perfect furniture. Like, I can't. So, you know, my backgrounds aren't like amazing and modern or, you know, anything like that. And I think that's something else. Like, I miss how authentic YouTube used to be. Like, it used to feel a lot more honest and realistic. Like, I'm not saying that lots of young people don't have nice bedrooms, because I'm sure they do. Like, I've seen other photos and stuff on the internet, like on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, where you do see a lot of young people do have very pretty bedrooms that are modern and everything like that. So it's not that it's uncommon, but it's just, it's an unrealistic expectation to kind of assume that everything is like that, or that everything's perfect, like nothing's ever messy in the background, you know what I mean? Like everyone on YouTube now has to make sure they tidy their room before they do a video, like it's got to look perfect. I get insecure sometimes watching people's videos and I'm like, oh, their bedroom is perfect and mine's not, and you know, and they're younger than me. Like, I see people that are 16 with like perfect bedrooms. I'm like, oh my god, I'm 26, I'm 10 years older than them, and I have way less than they do. And it makes me feel like a failure, or it makes me feel stupid, or it makes me feel like, oh, my life isn't very fulfilling then, or my life isn't, you know, very worthwhile because I'm not, like, I don't have as much as they do, or I don't, you know, whereas before that idea wasn't in my head because it wasn't sort of in your face as much as it is now on social media. And YouTube's just one of those places that really kind of puts it in your face. I just kind of feel like modern YouTube puts too much emphasis on living in luxury and how living in luxury is important and how being perfect is important and you should aim to be perfect. There's nothing wrong with obviously having a modern bedroom or expensive things. It's nice if you can do that, and if that makes you happy then that's good, but it just shouldn't be like the be all and end all, you know? And I think it comes across as if it is. I can imagine there's probably like a lot of 12-year-olds that probably beg their parents to paint their bedroom and get expensive furniture and whatnot just because they've seen people on YouTube that they idolise have a perfect bedroom, and they're probably thinking, oh, but I should have that as well, and that's, you know, what's cool and I should do that. And I'm not saying that people that have the money to do that shouldn't do it or shouldn't put it in their videos, but I think, I don't know, I just kind of feel like if you're going to do that, maybe make it a bit more realistic, as in don't worry so much about like making, you know, like tidying it up. Like, you can leave a bit of mess, you can make it look realistic, not like it's a show home, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't know. That's just something small, that's not really a big deal, but it's just something else I've kind of noticed. And like 8-10 years ago, a lot of people would just sit, well, I think everyone did. I don't remember, like in 2010, I do not remember watching anybody's videos that had a perfect background or had a luxurious house. I do not remember anybody at all. So it felt a lot more realistic and a lot more relatable, I think. I think a lot of people, especially when they're younger, because they can feel quite isolated, I think they want to, and alone, they want to feel like they can relate to somebody. And YouTube is very personal because you're talking to a camera and it's just you. Well, I know some people might have help, but generally speaking, it's just you with a camera and you're doing it all yourself, and it feels more realistic because it's not a TV program, it's not a movie, it's not, you know, acting, it's not scripted. Well, I think some people are scripted, but I don't know. I don't think, are many people scripted? I don't even know that, I don't know. I was going to say it's not scripted, maybe some of it is scripted, I don't know. But I think it's obvious, either way, it's less scripted than like a movie or TV show would be, for example. And I think, you know, that's what drew people to YouTube a lot, because they liked the fact that it was so relatable and so real. So I think, you know, people want to be able to relate to someone their age, or someone that's not necessarily their age, but still young enough you know, like in their 20s or something. I think these days it's harder and harder to relate to anybody on YouTube because everyone on YouTube's life seems so perfect. It's not because it is necessarily, it's just because they're portraying it to look like it is. And I think it's making young people think their lives should be different or that they should have these unrealistic goals. And it's probably making them more anxious and more depressed and stuff because they can't get it, when actually it's probably pretty common to not have those things, but they think it's not common. So they get the wrong idea, and they're probably driving their parents mad, begging for branded stuff, or like I said, or perfect bedrooms and stuff, or expensive HD cameras that cost thousands, or those lights and everything, and green screens and everything. And it's like, but 10 years ago you could just make a video and you didn't have to have a green screen or a perfect light. You could just do it with whatever, you could just make do whatever you had, whether it's some crappy webcam or whatever you had, you know. Back then that would be good enough and you could just make do, and it was great that it was kind of basically that anyone could do it. I feel like it's now more directed towards people that are rich or people that have a decent amount of money. For example, if you wanted to start a YouTube channel 10 years ago, it was pretty simple. You didn't need much to do that. You could just have a webcam or a handheld camera like I've got right now. It'd be like £100 that you might get for Christmas or whatever. Whereas now it's like, you need a £700 camera, you need, I don't know how much they cost, but you need big ring lights or those other lights, I don't know what they are, those big lights and stands, you need a green screen, and you need a perfect bedroom, and I don't even know what else. Just all this equipment that costs such a huge amount of money that realistically, teenagers cannot afford that, and like they can't expect their parents to be able to afford that either. Like even if it was a Christmas present, like you shouldn't expect parents to like get you £1,000, £2,000 worth of camera equipment just for a website, just to put yourself on the internet. Like it sounds insane, but that's what it is now. It's not even really questioned anymore. Like people just think it's normal. They just think, oh yeah, I'll just buy a £1,000 camera, put myself on the internet, and it's like, what? Like it's only the internet, but people just, I don't know, they kind of take it so serious, and I kind of find that weird. Although like, obviously a lot of people make it work really well, so I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just so weird. Like when you stop and think about the concept of YouTube, it is so weird. Another thing that kind of put me off uploading was just kind of, I just started questioning what I was doing, and I just started thinking, well, if you think about it, vlogging's really weird. Like, you wouldn't walk down the street and start shouting about, look, this is what my room looks like, this is what I did today, this is what I did yesterday, this is what I think about this is what I feel about that. And it just, I kind of thought, I wouldn't walk down the street and shout about how I feel or show everyone what my room looks like. And so why am I doing it on the internet? I just started questioning the whole idea of YouTube. And also like, because modern YouTube wants you to kind of have more of a purpose. It doesn't kind of want you to just be random or experimenting. It wants you to be professional and know what you're doing. I remember it, like in a survey or something, it asked me a few years ago, something like, what is the purpose of your channel? What is the goal of your channel? What is the topic of your channel? And I was like, I don't know. There is no purpose. There is no topic. There is no goal. We didn't have these things like 10 years ago. The old YouTube, we didn't have these goals or these topics or these, like, you must have a purpose. You must be going somewhere with your channel. As if you're like an apprenticeship on a TV show, or not a TV show, like on a TV channel or something. It was so weird, and I was like, I don't know, it just really made me stop and question and think about it, and I was like, I don't know, I don't even like the fact that they were asking us that. I remember a few people have said to me in recent years, oh, like, why don't you go back to doing reaction videos? And like, even now I've kind of thought, I don't really want to do that anymore, because it seems so old. Like, I've been there, I did that such a long time ago. I know it isn't really old, because it's actually very popular doing reaction videos, isn't it, in recent years, but to me, because I did it 8 years ago, it feels really old now, and really like over, like done to death. So that's not something that I would consider doing again. I kind of did for a second, because like a couple of years ago I recorded my reaction to a Pretty Little Liars finale, but I never edited it, I never uploaded it, because I just thought, again, it didn't feel like my heart was in it. I just felt like, no, I did this years ago. I think a lot of people, young people, are starting YouTube for the wrong reasons. I think a lot of them are starting it because they want to be rich and famous, and they think being rich and famous is gonna fulfill them and make them, like, happy forever, rather than doing it because they genuinely love editing or filming, or they genuinely want to entertain people or help people, or they're genuinely interested in like film or media or editing or whatever. This is so mixed up. I just thought of something else to say, and that is that I think it's a shame as well how in modern YouTube that there's so many, well, quite a few people that are giving it a bad name. And again, that makes me really sad because it just makes me really sad because YouTube was so much more than that. And now a lot of people associate it with, you know, people being jerks, basically, people being assholes, you know, like Logan Paul and stuff, and those sort of things, you know, where people are being really disrespectful, really disgusting behaviour, really just nasty or rude. I kind of feel like YouTube's letting itself down as well because it's kind of ignoring or making smaller people feel like, I mean, as in not as popular people, feel like we're not good enough. But it's making people that are arseholes feel like they're good enough. Like, for example, what Logan Paul did, he should have been banned for YouTube forever. They should have blocked his IP address and everything. But he's still on YouTube. All he got was, I think all he got was about a month of demonetization on his videos. That was it. That was his punishment for filming a suicide victim's dead body, putting it on YouTube and laughing about it. And all he got was a month of not making money. And that was it. And he does keeps doing stupid things. Apparently, I don't watch him, but I hear he did other stupid things, still disrespectful things, and he still gets away with it. And he's still on YouTube, and he's still very popular. And I saw lots of young girls, like 12-year-olds, defending him. It's like, why are the popular people, not all of them, but why are some of the popular people the ones that are assholes? Why are they allowed to have this public platform where they can be a bad influence on so many young people? It's just like, it's crazy what YouTube lets go these days. You know, I just feel like if this was 10 years ago, this sort of thing wouldn't happen. Or not to that extent anyway. I'm not sure exactly if there are any sort of bad things happening on YouTube 10 years ago. Maybe there was. I don't remember specifically, but I don't know anyway. And it's so scary, like, to see 12-year-old girls, 10-year-old girls defending Logan Paul, like, saying things like, oh, but everyone makes mistakes. And it's like, well, how does, like, a 10-year-old, 12-year-old think like that? Like, it's like then being brought up by popular people on YouTube, and that is really scary to think that, you know, that's who's influencing them, that's who they're looking up to, is people like that. And YouTube shouldn't let someone like that be an influencer. It's just disgusting, and it's just completely morally wrong, and it's just really scary for young people as well, because they're going to get the wrong ideas about what's right and what's wrong. Like, young people shouldn't think that you should support someone, like, no matter what. Like, you can always draw the line. Like, no matter how much you love somebody, you should never support them without questioning things, because the fact that there's young people that think that it's okay to film a dead body and laugh about it and put it on the internet just because their idol did that is just completely disgusting and crazy. But that's an example of like what modern YouTube allows, of what it is like. And like I said, that's just so far from what YouTube used to be like years ago. It's just sad what it's turned into and what it promotes, basically, and what it lets slip. It's just disgusting, unbelievable, really. The power of the internet should not be given to people, like I said, like Logan Paul, who influence young people and do disrespectful things, get away with it, think it's okay, or think they can just shrug it off as a mistake. I mean, he's an adult, you know what's right and wrong by the time you're about, 7 years old? You know, so by the time you're in your 20s, you would definitely know what's right or wrong. You definitely know filming a dead body and laughing about it is obviously not right. Especially not then uploading it onto the frigging internet. But even in the first place, just to laugh is disgusting enough in itself, never mind to then flaunt it on the internet. And going back to what I was saying earlier in this video about how partners like me have had our partnership removed because we don't have enough subscribers and we don't have enough watch hours. So basically we're not popular enough anymore. Why are, like, we being punished, or seem to be being punished, or something that we haven't done? Like, why are we the ones that are losing our partnership and we haven't done anything wrong? Why are we the ones that are, like, being acted as if we're not good enough, we're not worthy, when we're a lot more real and a lot more genuine and nice than other people like Logan Paul, who hasn't had his partnership taken away, even though he's filmed a dead body, laughed about it, and put it on YouTube? Like, how does that make any sense? We're not allowed to be partners anymore because we're not popular enough And yet, someone who has filmed a dead body, laughed about it, and put it on YouTube is allowed to be a YouTube partner still. But we're not, because we're not popular enough. How friggin' insane and unfair is that? But that's the reality of it. So it's things like that that I really, really hate about modern YouTube. Modern YouTube, their priorities aren't correct. Like, they think it's more important to stop smaller YouTubers or potentially spam accounts earning money than it is to stop someone who's filmed a dead body from earning money. How does that make sense? I think I've pretty much mentioned everything. To round it up, there's quite a few reasons why I don't really upload on YouTube anymore. But saying all that, I still agree to the saying of never say never. So I'm not saying that I will never upload on a regular basis ever again. Maybe I will. Don't know what it would be about, but who knows, maybe I will. I can't see it happening anytime soon. I do miss YouTube so much, but obviously things change. You know, websites don't stay the same forever, nothing stays the same forever. And as hard as it is, like, we need to accept that. But when something's been a big part of your life, it's meant a lot to you, growing up especially, it's hard to let it go. It's hard to accept the fact that it's changed and it's never going to go back to how it was, and that you've lost a lot of what meant a lot to you. I know I should just be thankful that I ever had any time on YouTube. At least I did have some good years, so it's not all bad, but it's just hard to let that go and, you know, accept that, well, it's never going to be like that again. Like, that really upsets me, to be honest, because I miss it so much. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you feel the same way, then I would love to hear what you think about modern YouTube, or if you miss the old YouTube. I hope at least one person understood what I was saying and I didn't come across like a moany old person. I feel like I sound like an old person that's moaning about, well, back in my day, it used to be like this. I can understand why old people are like that now, because now I feel like that about things in the past. Anyway, that's it. Okay, bye.